A medal for the Caribbean on day 4 of the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham 2022, and taking the overall tally to 4 for this region. That is how I greet you here on this highlight show for this evening. My name is Gerard Morrisili. Thank you so much for staying with us as we look through what happened on day 4 for the Caribbean. And let's get right into it, shall we? We start with netball, where the Jamaica Sunshine Girls took on the Bajan Gems. The Sunshine Girls looking to go a perfect 3 from 3, while the Bajans were looking to capitalize on their improvement from against South Africa and hopefully walk away with a win. Let's see how that game played out.
So Curtin into wing defence for Barbados. I think she's already had some court time. Quite a handy player, so it'll be good to see her. Oh, lovely move by Holder then. That was terrific. That's what we need to see more of. And a guard is there waiting.
Instruction goalkeeper, second jump. Back step. Yeah.
Good explanation there by the umpire around the second jump. Just telling and explaining to the Jamaicans what actually happened. And unfortunately, Holder did not balance enough to stay onside.
And you don't often see that now at this level of netball, do you? Generally, players have got the core strength, the positioning, the nous to know what to do. Of course, the ball can go anywhere. So if you can balance on the ball, oh, brilliant!
Well done. Look, she is a talent already. You can see that. Making space for Fowler, for Beckford. The connection between the two of them is so special. Robinson's playing a really good role here for her team.
And that's court awareness, isn't it? She knew exactly where she had to be. You've got to take that centre pass in the mid-court.
I'm speechless. Kane, Wilson, another touch, and then Sterling running after it, picking up. This is championship level netball. I'm enjoying it. Please keep it going. But for Barbados, it is not what they would be wanting.
I mean, what does it do for Barbados? I mean, what can they take from a game like this?
Well, I think they can take great heart that, you know, it is possible for them to develop a program along the lines of Jamaica. They need to look at what happens in Jamaica, what sort of, you know, leagues they have. Maybe they have to join up with the domestic league in Jamaica and put their national team in there and have a more full-time program that can actually get them across the line.
Oh, that's stunning from Sterling. You can see her hold.
Oh,
and
my
she got
goodness.
the held ball. That was mighty.
That skill also from Beckford, the way she threw that high ball into, and there it is again. Oh, wow. Special delivery. And they could well be along the line to 100 goals. Great take and balance by Janelle Fowler. And of course, Sterling's out of play. She doesn't like it. She doesn't like to be breaking the rules, which is fair enough.
Contact wing defence, advantage of side.
Holder's holding her own, and again, pardon the pun, but she's doing a good job there. She's not going to give up her space easily. Wilson's going to have to work for it.
Advantage breaking wing defence.
Beautiful quick offload and centre pass by Thomas. Loving this fast play by Jamaica. They can play fast, but they can also play slow and patient. I've seen that. So it's great that they've got different paces to their game.
Instruction goal defence. Step forward goal defence.
I can hear Rob Wright saying to Shamira Sterling, it's your lean, you know, but she just, again, sometimes it might be just a slight.
Well, they've really put the afterburners on.
Slight
Jamaica.
Inching. Here we go. Oh, one hand control. I know another goaler that does that very well for a team that wears red dresses and sometimes white dresses. Her name is Eleanor Cardwell, sorry. She has that control as well. It's beautiful to watch.
This is better from Barbados.
Yeah, they seem a bit more organised in their attacking play, and it's no surprise with Blackman there at goal attack. She just helps organise their attacking. They need her at both ends, actually, at the moment. Her leadership is very important.
Advantage obstruction, goal attack. Goal defence obstruction in the centre third. Goal
In
defence
this quarter, we're
beside.
halfway through the quarter. It will be
Hold on.
interesting
Goal
to see if there's any
defence
changes coming from Jamaica. Again, to make sure their players are managed. Lovely jump by Dehaney then, putting lots of pressure on, but a great shot. So already Barbados are ahead of their score, but they gained against Australia. So let's see what Jamaica can do. And boy,
Well, with shooting like that, that is phenomenal. I tell you what, Jamaica on course to, I think, surpass their highest score at a Commonwealth Games. That was 100 against India in India.
well, it is possible, Jenny. It's 6 minutes to go. Easily 10 goals can be scored in that time. At the moment, the quarter score is 18-4. Just phenomenal scoring from Jamaica.
Contact centre.
Look at that, the way that Adine Thomas uses her head, uses her body, attacks the ball.
And this is what they've been working for. Connie Francis, Rob Wright, and the whole support team have worked for this with the players
Advantage breaking goal
to
attack.
increase their concentration, to ensure that they're working for 15 minutes. Janelle Fowler's talking to them about it. She's experienced
Contact, wing
success
defence,
with
penalty.
West Coast Fever this year in the Australian competition. She knows what it takes to win.
But they also know what it's like to lose, don't they? Because, you know, at Liverpool 3 years ago, they were looking good, but they had all sorts of things went wrong. And, you know, a Jamaican team in the past could be guilty of getting their head down,
Goalkeeper.
giving up. Not this side.
I actually have to say that the Jamaica that
Contact,
turns
goal
up to a
defence on the goal
Commonwealth
attack,
Games is
penalty,
very
goals out.
different to the Jamaica that turns up to a World Cup. And I have my theories on that, and I'm not going to share them on air. But what it seems to be is that Jamaica that
Advantage
turns up to
obstruction,
Com
wing
Games
defence.
really is very, very focused.
Contact goal defence.
They're disciplined. They must be influenced by their great track athletes. If you think about, you know, the professionalism that they exude, then it must rub off on the Jamaican netballers.
Advantage obstruction.
They're certainly
Wing attack.
brilliant athletes, the
Goal
Jamaicans.
attack obstruction centre
In fact,
third.
Jodie Ann Ward was, I think, more of a track specialist, and I think it just happened that the netball court was alongside
Contact goal
the
defence,
track, and it
penalty.
caught her eye, and she got totally sidetracked into netball.
Look, it happens. I know
Step
many
back,
of my
goalkeeper.
friends that I've played with over the years just love netball more. They have been athletes. I did athletics myself, but I fell in love with netball. It's a team sport aspect. I think it's a socialisation part.
Contact goal defence, penalty.
Track athletes are enormously disciplined. They do form a team, of course, together as a big team, but it is a hard road working on your individual event. I admire them so much. It was an absolute thrill for me to work with Catherine
Hold
Mary,
time,
a world
please. Goal
champion.
shooter. Next
I
time,
like
give
that
it to the centre,
sign
please.
in the crowd. Netball rocks, it sure does.
Untouched centre, 3 balls,
I
goal
wonder
third.
if that's Rockyaw's family. You know, she's doing well. She's been
In the
at
goal
it.
third,
I know she's got a hard opponent
Other
now.
chances?
Robinson's been
Yes.
running all over the court, but Rockyaw's still maintaining her dedication to the task. Still running out there with her. And Beckford pops that ball up. And Fowler's going to take this challenge of the hand right over her, and she just shoots through. This is what Fowler can do now. She is almost unstoppable.
Well, she used to be just an under-the-post shooter, didn't she? She's so broadened her skills.
Yeah, she's
And-
more than that. She can move. She's got the rolls. She's got the moves to come out of the circle. She can do it all.
So 3.5 minutes left in this game. And really the only, well, I shouldn't say that. The most interesting aspect is whether or not they'll crack the ton, Jamaica.
I think they really will. Interesting there. Thea Guard, a little bit unsteady on her feet. I thought she might attract the umpire whistle there, but she didn't. And there's the 98. Barbados doing much better. They're up to 24. They want to try and get their highest score for the game in this quarter. They need to beat 8.
It's breaking goal attack.
And just by the actual weight of possession, they probably will break that. But who knows, Jamaica might say and have other plans.
But what a great chase from Thomas. I mean, many teams would have thought, oh, that's going out, we'll leave it.
Well, I've been
ran it
super
down.
impressed with her. She's really showing that she wants to be on court in that top team that plays the big game.
And look at the urgency. Sterling,
Yep.
they want this.
She's doing the throw-in, even though traditionally the goalkeeper does the throw-in on the baseline. It doesn't have to be. For those new to netball, it can be anyone actually, except those that can't go in that area. There it is, the 99. This will actually send the crowd into a frenzy. Great pluck out of the air from, and another one from Janelle Fowler. Here it comes.
Obstruction, goal defence,
Oh,
penalty.
that was super.
This will be a moment.
Oh, Robinson gets it. Oh,
100 for Jamaica. Listen to the crowd. And this is amazing recognition of what a special Jamaican side this is. And they haven't stopped yet.
no, they haven't. It's 1:24 to get. There's still enough. They can probably get another 5 goals if they want to in this time, if they're quick enough. And this is important. In the context of the tournament, they need to practice this timing. It's very important. Working ball to circle
God,
edge,
it's
being
obstruction, goal
disciplined,
defence.
Beckford. I'm loving this from Jamaica. Rob Wright's clapping on the side. Connie Francis is pretty relaxed. She's enjoying watching what is a historic, absolute score and match for Jamaica against Barbados.
Vantage contact, centre. Throwing Barbados.
Lovely touch there by Katie Ann Dehaney, just limping a little bit there. She's been hard at work. She's done a magnificent job today. Oh, Shamira Sterling, what an athlete.
Well, Barbados has just been monstered, isn't it? Look at this leg
Oh,
fall short. And who's there to
Robertson.
pick it up?
And she's played her role, Jenny. She's been such a great support here. She's been determined to do well. Beckford goes back. Sterling, they're playing around with the ball. They want to bring it in and have a 5-goal shot, but it
Contact,
didn't
goal
work.
attack, penalty outside.
It's all over. What a cricket score here at the NEC Arena. Connie Francis can hardly believe it. It is 103 to 24, Jamaica over Barbados. And I can tell you it's the 8th time 100 goals or more have been scored at a Com Games. The last time was at the Gold Coast when Australia put 108 to 23 on Fiji. What a score. What a game.
Yeah, the Jamaican Sunshine Girls coming out there with the easy 103 to 24 victory, scoring their most in the fourth quarter. Our analysts were talking about intensity in the finish, and they showed that they are capable of doing it against the Gems. Jamaica, the first team to break the century mark in goals in this competition, and I'm pretty sure that they'll be confident going into their next game. Barbados, on the other hand, have a lot of work to do, and they'll take it back to the drawing board and hopefully regroup ahead of their game against Scotland on Wednesday. Let's take a break now. When we come back, we go to our next segment. Thank you so much for staying with us. We move on to the cycling track now, where the Caribbean got their 4th medal, the 3rd one for Trinidad and Tobago. The Jamaican Delia Palmer, she took part in the women's sprint. She left her all on the track. Meanwhile, there were 4 Caribbean participants in the men's time trial, the over 1,000 kilometers. 3 Jamaican athletes with Nicholas Paul, the speedster from Trinidad and Tobago. So let's see how those 2 races went for the Caribbean.
Sarah Orban, very much the favourite to go through here against Delia Palmer of Jamaica and Iza Asri. Sarah Orban, all things being equal, should go through here, Rochelle. Something would have to go quite badly wrong for her not to make it through to the next round. So heat 2 of the repechage is underway. Orban getting on the wheel of the Derny.
Yeah.
Asri slotting into the middle. Sorry, Rochelle. And Delia Palmer is the last rider in line.
Sarah Orban of Canada, she'll want to take the motorbike and stay out of trouble and just try and control this from the front. She'll know that the Malaysian Asri, she has a very good kick, so she'll just have to hold that speed high enough that she can't be jumped from behind. But I think she's in a good position. She'll be feeling confident about moving through to the next round. So one more lap behind the Derny as it increases its speed up to around 45 kilometres per hour.
Well, 8 riders have qualified already by rights for the 2nd round. We already know that one other rider will join them, and that's Lauren Bell of Scotland. So 9 through, 3 more to be decided. And if Sarah Orban gets through this round, it'll be 3 Canadians in the 2nd round of the Keirin competition. So the favourite on the front, waiting for the threat. Delia Palmer looks like she wants to get this done fairly soon, forcing Asri high on the banking, the Malaysian.
Yeah, well, that's playing into the hands of Sarah Orban. Having those 2 fight each other behind is a great situation for Sarah Orban.
Has them firmly under control, her rivals. Asri now just dropping off the wheel a little bit of the Jamaican, maybe to try and come with a rush. Delia Palmer almost up on the wheel and alongside Sarah Orban, but the Canadian has enough power just to pull away and to deny at this point the Jamaican any chance of getting round her. Orban, you feel, can kick again. Palmer right on the limit, but coming fast at the finish, and that was tight. Yeah. Very, very tight.
Fantastic ride from Palmer there. If the strength was there, the speed and endurance was there as well. It was just a lack of tactics. Had she have dropped off the wheel and run into the aerodynamic slipstream of Sarah Orban, she would have had more power coming off. And you can see she just sits wide. She sits wide and she pushes the wind the entire way round on the hip there, pushing the wind. She would have been better off just laying back, staying in the slipstream for a little bit longer and then giving all of her power to try and get around.
Nonetheless, a very strong finish from Delia Palmer and almost upsets Sarah Orban there. There wasn't too much in it, but Orban ultimately in control and going through.
Yeah, I'm not sure Sarah Orban would have expected such a threat coming there from the Jamaican.
Unfortunately, Palmer goes out of the competition, as does Iza Asri. Here's the start list then. Joe Holt of Wales goes 3rd off. Ethan Vernon is 4th off. Joe Truman of England, 7th off rider. Actually, we're just hearing that Joe Truman will not start after his crash the other day, of course, so he's out. He was on the original start list, and of course he won't be able to start, so I don't know why his name is still there. It shouldn't be. And Hayden Norris represents England in the 2nd half of the draw. So Boyd, have to double check that he's starting. Matt Richardson goes 13th, and he'll be one of the big favourites, the gold medalist in the sprint, to take the kilo time trial as well. But he's not alone. He's got some real competition, to particularly rider 21 and 22 in the start list. Nicholas Paul of Trinidad and Tobago, gold and silver so far for him. So there's a hush in the velodrome now. Malik Reid, fully concentrated. And 1,000 metres to prove what he's all about.
where you can see he would have lost a few tenths of a second just coming out of the gate there. As we said, they don't get much experience, the developing countries, to get hold of the gates and get some practice, and he's really accelerating well now, giving everything he possibly can.
And the London crowd recognising this ride, exhorting him to try and hit ever greater heights here, Reid. But you can visibly see how that number is acting as an air brake. And also his position on the bike as well, Rochelle, markedly different from the last 2 or 3 riders we've seen.
Yeah, a very similar position to what he would probably ride in a 150-kilometre road race.
And he's, there are no tri-bars there. It's down on the drops.
Yeah, and I think that's just lack of availability to the technology and equipment, and also experience riding in the aero position. It's actually harder than it looks to control your bike in the aero position.
And all part of the experience, and the point of the Commonwealth Games is to give the opportunities to all comers from all the Commonwealth nations to experience exactly what it's like on the biggest stage of all, and to learn from it and take it forward in their developing careers. Get confident, go fast on his helmet. He has got all the kit here, so Dan Palmer, much better equipped, still got the flappy number on his back, but he has got the aerodynamic skin suit. He's got aero socks on as well, aero bars, even if he hasn't got tri-bars. Should go faster, Dan Palmer. Let's have a look. His teammate Malik Reid, as you were saying, Rochelle, set the benchmark for Jamaica of 1:11.944, and it's the second slowest for now. And already you can see Dan Palmer is considerably faster.
A nice controlled start, explosive out of the gate. Looks like he's at his maximum speed now.
1.5 seconds down on Ethan Vernon.
Yep, just on his second lap, so he'll come around the start-finish line for 2 laps to go.
3 seconds down. He's on course to most certainly go faster than Malik Reid, but he'll be outside of the podium places provisionally.
Where you can see speed really dropping off now as he comes in to get the bell. What can Dan Palmer do? Can he do a personal best? He certainly does look well equipped and very smooth on the bike, making sure that all the power that he's got is going through those pedals.
Yeah, Palmer is tying up here a little bit, pushing that gear. It's impossibly hard. It's going to be tight, actually. Oh, 1:11.307. He only just beats his teammate Malik Reid by around about 0.6 of a second. Palmer started really well, but paid for that early pace. Zoe Boyd is the next of the Jamaicans to ride. New standings then, new leader, Matt Richardson takes over in the provisional gold medal position there, 1:00.152 the time to beat. Now then, it's very tight for local domestic honours in the Jamaican camp. Dan Palmer is the fastest of the Jamaicans so far in 1:11.307. Zoe Boyd, who I don't think we've seen race so far. I don't think he started either of his sprints, did he?
He's been on the start list for sure. He's been inside the velodrome.
Yeah.
Whether he started or not, I'm not sure, but perhaps he chose just to save his energy for the kilo.
I think this is his debut. It is indeed his debut at the Commonwealth Games, having pulled out of both of his events so far. Very upright position on that bike.
Yeah, he's looking at the scoreboard too as he comes around, which we won't see from many athletes who are in that very aerodynamic position. You can see there, he's just looked up again at the scoreboard to see where he's at.
A little bit down on the schedule at the moment of both Malik Reid and Dan Palmer. As he looks up, just checks to absorb that information on the screen. He's going to take the bell. And the last lap is going to be agony for Zoe Boyd.
Yeah, he has had a faster cadence until the last lap here, where he's really built up the lactic acid and just trying to push through to the line now.
So they're cheering him home, Zoe Boyd, as he comes to the finish line in 1:13.681.
Well, he shakes his head. He's not happy with that ride. He expected a bit more from himself.
Well, if that happens, then Nicholas Poole would have to go slower than Matt Richardson in 1:00.152. Thump, thump point. The old routine from Nicholas Poole.
I'm sure he'll expect from himself a sub 1 minute ride here.
That's such a hallmark of Nicholas Poole's sprinting, that he can sprint and hold the sprint for a long time. This, though, is a completely different kettle of fish. This is 1,000 metres. As the man from Trinidad and Tobago gets into position, it was a relatively modest start from him, but can he hold it now? It's a second down already on the best time of Tom Cornish.
Yeah, his better ride will probably be in the second half of this, but being off the pace by 1 second with 2 laps to go, it will be a big ask.
It's an unorthodox position. He has his hands in there. They're not overlapped. It's not the praying mantis position. There's a bit of a gap. That's not aerodynamically ideal from Nicholas Poole.
Well, he's got 1 lap to go. He's 8 tenths down on the fastest time.
He's
now
getting
6
faster.
tenths.
He's getting faster. He's taking chunks of time out of Tom Cornish now. Is he finishing so strong? There he is. He's closing in on the best time of Tom Cornish. The crowd can see it. They can sense it. And it's just outside. Silver medal position from Nicholas Poole, who came charging into that final lap. Wow, that was close. 1:00.089.
Well, he's happy to be in the second fastest position.
Well, Nicholas Poole has now picked up 1 of each type of metal, hasn't he? Gold, silver, and now bronze for Nicholas Poole. And that is the final result of the men's kilo time trial. Gleitzer wins, the only man over 60 kilometres an hour. Tom Cornish in the silver medal position, and Nicholas Poole picks up bronze. It was a fast and furious competition, and the margins, especially at the top end of the order, were very, very slender indeed. Well, if Anna Mears was a little disappointed in the Kieran performance there, an event that she dominated when she was racing, then that disappointment I think is going to be short-lived, because the big boss, Anna Mears, can step back and enjoy what she's about to witness as the riders make it onto the podium for the medal ceremony of the men's kilo time trial. It's going to be an Australian 1-2 here, and it's going to be very interesting when we get a big close-up of these riders on the podium. It's going to be very interesting to see how the disappointment might sit with Tom Cornish, who lost out to this man, Matt Gleitzer, at the end. Well, Nicholas Poole has won a bronze, a silver and a gold at these Commonwealth Games. He's done it with his usual tremendous panache. Might have hoped for a little bit more, but nonetheless, I think he can reflect on a very successful block of 4 days of racing here in London. They've got 7 gold medals, 1 silver, 3 bronze. That's a total of 11. And they lead the way by 2 medal points to New Zealand in second place. New Zealand with 6 gold medals, 2 silver and 1 bronze.
Yeah, so Nicholas Poole leaving with 3 medals to his name, 1 gold, 1 silver, 1 bronze, and I'm pretty sure he will be satisfied with his performance, even though he may have wanted more, but he doesn't have anything to be ashamed of. We take a break now. When we come back, we go into the swimming pool. Welcome back to the Commonwealth Games highlight show for action out of day 4. And we go to swimming now, where the Anguillan Alex Lake and Bahamian Luke Kennedy Thompson, they would have taken part in the men's 50-meter breaststroke. The heats, they won both their heats. And Paul Mahika of Guyana got second place in the men's 100-meter butterfly. And Tia Gunn Monroe of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, who have a country that has had a lot of representation at these games, she competed in the 100-meter breaststroke. In the semis, though, we had action. We had 2 athletes in the semis from the Caribbean. Antiguan Jaden Williams, he competed in the semifinal of the men's 50-meter breaststroke, and Bahamian Lily Higgs, she competed in the 100-meter breaststroke. Let's look at the highlights of all those events.
Smash and dash of the 50 breaststroke coming up. Alex Lake, lane 3. Kamara, the fastest qualifier, but there's not much in it really between him and Dwayne Yon. Very slow start by Dwayne Yon. Is about 0.3 of a second slower than everybody else, who's going to have a bit of ground to make up here. Kamara in the centre, Lake on the far side, and poor old Yon, who was very slow away, finding it very hard to make up that ground.
Yeah, but the other 2 athletes in your shot on the right, pretty much stroke for stroke. It does look like Alex Lake is edging slightly ahead, but Kamara could look for a strong finish here.
Well, Aldo's trying. Yon's not going to get on level terms with them. It will be lane 3. I think Alex Lake will take it. And he does. 35.72. Well, if his entry time is his personal best, he's just knocked a couple of seconds off that. Gone down from 37 to high 35. Yon obviously moved off the start, as well as being quite slow off the start. And unfortunately will not get a time. Bangladesh, Fiji. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Fiji again, Bahamas, Mozambique, Guernsey and Papua New Guinea all have representatives in this run. All 8 lanes being used for heat number 3. This is Vakasama of Fiji in terms of entry time anyway, but it's very close. There's a lot grouped in on a high 28, low 29. Vakasama, if he can back up his status as the #1, but we don't have him, so we're not going to see him, unfortunately. There is no lane 4, so forget that. Look at everybody else who is involved in this. Really fast start by Ronnie Hallett. Had a good week, the Guernsey swimmer. It's a very jerky action, but gets the job done.
And again, we can see some good speed in the outside lanes in these early heats, but going well now in the middle. It is Luke Kennedy Thompson of the Bahamas.
I think 7's just about going to get it, or is it going to be 8? 7 and 8 going to the wall together, though. You're right, absolutely right. You nailed it there. I didn't. Thompson is our winner in lane number 5. 29.30 for Luke Kennedy Thompson. Ronnie Hallett was right on his shoulder. And 29.53 for Ryan Maskelin. And Ronnie Hallett was 5/100ths of a second back. Winning time, 29.30. Ryan Maskelin in second place for Papua New Guinea, and Ronnie Hallett 29.58 in third place. Well, that might actually not be beaten in this next one. He might actually have the fastest time going into heat 3 as well. We'll see. Or Mahika of Guyana in 2. Hufi of Tonga in 3. Adam Moncherry of Seychelles has the fastest time. He's got a 58.74 to his name. And Thomas Frost of Samoa, Ahmed Hussein of Maldives, and Rwanda's Isihaka. So good they named him twice. Heat 2 of the 100 butterfly for men. And really decent start by Frost in lane number 5, but also by Hussein of the Maldives, but it's that centre lane. Adam Moncherry is at 25 taking the lead.
Yes, it is, and he didn't have to have a super quick reaction time, but he utilised the power off the block to then build through the stroke, and he is now generating a bit more of a lead. So it is going to be Moncherry coming into this first 50, 25.63. That was faster than the previous heat. Looking relatively comfortable. Nice, soft kick, easy balance. wanting to try and keep the stroke nice and flat. With butterfly, I've mentioned it before, you don't want to be swimming up and down but forward, so he's keeping it nice and level, really sweeping the arms round, close to the surface, and he seems to be picking up a fair bit of speed. Coming into the final 5 meters here.
Last view for him, getting it 57, yeah, 57.22. It is for Adam Moncherry. Well, from an entry time of 58.74, it's a sizable drop down in time. Second going to Paul Mahika. There might be a little examination of this one, though. They've now confirmed it. There you go. We'll get the top 6 in that one on your screen now. And 3 go sub-minute. Hufe being the other one from Tonga. Yeah, we'll see those two later on in the piece. First of 4 heats of the 100 breaststroke for women. Some of the rawer talent out there in the Commonwealth, all trying to get their best time. Best time on the books is 1:19 dead for the Bangladesh swimmer actor in lane 4. How's she looking, Liz?
She's looking good, but the best start at the early stages was actually Tia Gunn-Munro in that silver hat in lane 5. Going very well here in the early stages. You can see the range of techniques being used in this first heat. And Gunn-Munro, with that high recovery, that stroke, it glided into the wall there, turning first in a time of 37.15, but it was a big glide, and half a second behind her to turn second, but now you can see that they are already starting to come back at our early race leader.
Yeah, the Pakistan swimmer, Bangladesh, St. Vincent and Grenadines, Anton Lena, all those swimmers pretty much in a line. In fact, now making your way through is actor of Bangladesh in lane number 4, looking the strongest. She didn't look the strongest over the first 50. It's a very whippy little stroke, isn't it? It looks like it shouldn't get her very far very quickly, but it's working. It's almost like she's scrabbling the water rather than swimming, but she gets there. You wouldn't teach anybody to swim like that, to be absolutely honest, but it did work. It did have the right outcome as far as she's concerned, and the time is 1:20.37, and I tell you what, she's entered a 1:19, so a little bit slower than her entry time, but it's an unusual stroke, shall we say that much?
Well, it was the second 50 where she had that high stroke rate, and actually she turned 4th and finished first, so it was effective for her, and she'll look to build on the power that she produces.
Okay, here we go, the 50 breast, and Adam Peaty will be in the first heat. Now, he's released a statement today about the 100 breaststroke last night, briefly before we get the introductions. 27.10 this morning. What kind of shape is he in this evening? In lane 4, always has a good start, not always the fastest away, but he'll be into his stroke pretty early, but he is being flanked by Ross Murdoch one side, Archie Goodburn on the other side. Great start by Woolies of Anthony, but just got the advantage, but he's being flanked by Archie Goodburn. Peaty has about half a body length advantage over the others, but they're all coming back to Peaty, though, showing some signs of coming right back into form. James Wood is coming back towards him. It is Peaty, though. It is Peaty. Right back on form. Not as quick as he can go, of course, but he's got that well out of his system. And the cobwebs, there might have been the hangover from last night, has gone. 27.03 the winning time, so he's gone a little bit quicker than he went in the heat and has booked his place in tomorrow's final. So PD 27.03, 1-2-3 for England there. James will be in second place, Greg Butler, and Ross Murdoch will be hopeful of going through, and Archie Goodburn will have to wait a little bit. That's right on the cusp. As we move on to the 100 breaststroke semi-final number 1, and again, quite intriguing stuff. Hodges, Australia, Corbett, South Africa, Basie, England, and Higgs of the Bahamas. 2 lengths of this Sandwell Aquatics pool, and a pretty even break. Harkins, Schumacher, and Hodges all getting off to a pretty similar start, but are we going to see the South African come soaring through? Well, no, 3, 4, and 5 pretty much locked together at the moment.
Yeah, we saw that Imogen Clark of England up there in lane 2 using that 50-metre speed that she has down the first 25 metres, but already Chelsea Hodges, the bronze medalist in that 50 metres, going very well at the turn. She's got a slender lead over Schoolmaker, 0.12 separating them, with Hodges turning in 31.17. Now Schoolmaker making her move, the Olympic silver medalist, the defending Commonwealth Games champion.
Not sure what happened to Abby Harkin there. She disappeared pretty much off the radar, but she's going to have an awful lot of catching up to do. I don't think she's going to be in the scramble and the shake-up at the end. Tatiana Schoonmaker, though, is being pushed all the way by Chelsea Hodges. Abby Harkin is trying to come back. She's given herself so much to do. Kaylin Corbett will just get extra. Harkin has done remarkably well, considering where she was at 50. She was not even in the race. Harkin had to swim a race and a half virtually to get herself in the top three. She managed that. Schoonmaker, 106.43 is her time, and that is just outside the time she did earlier on in the year. But as always, there's a big beaming smile to match. I was wondering if Zoe had happened off the blocks there, because when I looked up, she was so far behind the front four, and I thought there's no way she could make up that ground. Well, she did, and she got herself into third place.
Yeah, well, swimming winding down briskly, but there will be a lot more Caribbean representation going into day 5. So we'll see how things play out for the Caribbean for the remainder of these games in swimming. Let's take a break. When we come back, we head to our final segment. Let's step into the boxing ring now as we look to close out this Commonwealth Games highlight show for action from day 4. Anguilla's Curlin Richardson, he took on Yusuf Lukasi Shangalawi from Tanzania in the light heavyweight division. Stepping up a weight class, well, a couple weight classes did Curlin Richardson. He was a welterweight at Gold Coast 2018. Let's see how he fared in this bout.
A bit heavier than when we last saw him in the Commonwealth Games, Curlin Richardson. He was boxing at welterweight in 2018 in Australia, losing to the Scotsman Stephen Nunes. Here he is, looking solid and strong at light heavyweight.
Lips up, no here, no from below, no below the bed. Second, good luck.
Anguilla versus Tanzania in the final contest of the afternoon here then. Curlin Richardson from Anguilla in the red. When you look at him and how solid and good he looks, Richardson. I mean, how on earth was he making welterweight 4 years ago?
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't
I mean, he is not fattened up at all. He looks in terrific shape.
Changawali does look a lot bigger, doesn't he?
Well, he does look like a real natural physical light heavy, doesn't he, Changalawi? But I don't think Richardson looks too out of place here either. Very stocky and powerfully built.
Good jab there from Changalawi.
Richardson looking to try and set the terms, but Changalawi looks comfortable on the back foot.
Yeah, he throws that uppercut from really far out, doesn't he, as well?
Yeah.
Changalawi.
That's nice, lovely combination, really sharp there, Changalawi.
Yeah, you see that little spin as well, then get himself back in the centre of the ring.
Oh, he catches him nicely there as well with the cross. Richardson taking a few here, and still staying on the front foot. Changalawi now rocks him back. A little bit slappy there, I think. Yeah.
It's a shame for him there, because I don't think he had Richardson hurt, but he had him under a bit of pressure, didn't he?
if he can force Richardson back, and it looks like he can, then Changalawe can certainly make life easier for himself. At the moment, it's Richardson still encouraged to come forward. But Changalawe doesn't look too unhappy retreating, because he's able to just turn him as quickly as that. A lovely little right hand there to finish that exchange.
I've seen standing counts for less.
Yes.
This week.
Those are the sort of shots, though, that really stay in the memory of the judges.
Yeah,
when they're close rounds, those are the ones you remember. Richardson's really got to get his act together here. Changalawe starting to unload now. And Richardson's there to be hit as well. He's got to be careful, Richardson, playing with fire here. Lands a left of his own, though.
Takes a good shot, though, Richardson. He got caught the flush left hook there, didn't move. He's coming second best off.
Oh, he doesn't want to be taking too many of those, and a big right hand lands. And he's shaking. There's got to be an standing 8 count coming here, surely.
He's hurt there. You see a little wobble on his legs.
Yeah. Well, as you say, he might have bulked up to light heavy, but can he take the punches of natural light heavyweights? On that evidence, possibly not.
And even though the belt possibly saved him from more punishment there, that's the worst time to get seriously hurt. And seriously, he was hurt.
No surprises there. Bill and Richardson's in some trouble. Well, Yusuf Changalawe go through the gears here and get his opponent out of there.
He should jump on Richardson. Now he's switched southpaw. I don't think he's a natural switcher there. And when you find out when people switch, they're not naturally adapt to doing it. The defense is weak.
Well, let's see if he stays in southpaw as well, Richardson. Changalawe happy just to see what's coming at him.
Nice there from Changalawe.
Yeah, he's very, very in control of this, isn't he?
Changalawe now needs to throw that right hand. The other guy in the southpaw stands for him. It's the perfect shot there.
It's Arthur Langelier of St. Lucia who awaits the winner of this one in the quarterfinals, after the St. Lucia boxer's opponent failed the weight. You come all the way from Tuvalu in the Pacific Ocean to the Commonwealth Games and you don't make weight. What an absolute sickener for Leatiali Afoa. Here, at the moment, is Changalawe.
Yeah, but he's allowed Richardson, fair play to Richardson. No, he's the one who's sort of pushed forward a bit, but even though he hasn't really done any work, but Changalawe's let him off the hook here. He's allowed Richardson to come forward, and when he was being the aggressor, he was having more success, and he had him hurt in the last round.
And he has stayed southpaw, Richardson.
Can't fight on the back foot here, can he, Changalawe? We see that clearly.
Well, it is almost as if the switch of stance has just got him wondering what's going on, but he's turned him nicely there.
It's better when he's aggressive. He's much better when he's aggressive. It's a danger. And Richardson doesn't fire back.
Yeah, Richardson is very, very brave and gutsy, isn't he? We're getting another telling off there. Changalawe with a lovely little left hand to open that exchange, and then finishes it with a right as well, and starting to open up here in the last few seconds. This is good round management from Changalawe. Impressing those last few seconds. That's what the judges remember.
Whipping shots as well, aren't they? Throws them from so far out, you can't fire back.
It's almost as if he said, well, what's going on with this southpaw stance? And then he's realised, well, actually, not very much. Oh, OK, I can just unload now. Just make sure there's another standing 8 count coming. The combination rocked him. Now, the referee's decision, we've seen a few waved off after a second standing 8 count. Is this one going to go as well? No, they'll let him carry on as the bell goes. If that round had been in doubt, and I don't think it was, Changalawe made sure there was no doubt with a strong finish to the round.
I bet you Richardson wishes he was a welterweight right now.
10-8 right down the line. No surprise there. Well, can Curlin Richardson upset the odds here and somehow produce a stoppage to keep his Commonwealth dream intact? At the moment, Yusuf Changalawi looks too big, too strong, and too good for him. Brave effort, though, from Richardson.
I think he tried to walk forward. Actually, in walking forward, kept him safe for most of that second round.
There he goes again, rocked with the left hand, and whenever Changalawi does land flush, Richardson does feel it.
Yeah, when Changalawi lets his hands go, it's good to watch, isn't it?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's a danger. As I've said before, and I'll say it again, this half of the draw in particular is so up for grabs in the light heavyweight division. There's no reason that Yusuf Changalawi can't be thinking, hey, I'm a medal contender.
But he needs all good right hand there from Changalawi.
Lovely stuff. There might be another standing out count coming soon, and if it does, I think that will probably be the end of it. So Richardson tries to fire back.
Yeah, gutsy effort there from Richardson.
Yeah, it really was.
Nothing landing for the effort.
But at least he stopped the referee stepping in, didn't he?
Yeah, he was on the end of these left hooks.
Yeah, but he's in complete control, Langwawi. He's just too big, too strong, too physical. And he can just bully Curlin Richardson in there, which is what he's doing now. Richardson is incredibly game and brave. Still throwing, still trying to find something.
He literally spat that out himself.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Unless he was falling out, he tried to catch it, but that's the rest he needed, though, to be fair. He was under a bit of pressure there, wasn't he?
He needs more than a rest.
Well, I just think he's thinking about seeing the end of the round, to be honest.
Will he do it? Changalawi unloading again. Richardson soaking it all up. I wonder. He's absolutely out of his feet, isn't he? Well, he's got less than a minute just to survive here. I'm surprised, 3 standing counts, but he's allowed to continue. Look at him, he's still coming forward. I think, is Changalawi going to take it easy on him? Respect his courage? I mean, he's won it by a mile. Doesn't need to waste anything here. And we'll take a few more seconds off the clock.
But we've seen fights stop with much less punishment than we've seen in this fight, but you sort of good work. You want to see Richardson get to the final ball now, don't you?
Yeah, when you're this close. Yeah, hear that final bell. He's earned the right. That'll do it. He was still throwing even after the bell. And he didn't land with that one either. Yusuf Changalawi can start the celebrations, and he can start planning for a quarter-final as well.
He's been harder fights, and I think, tougher test to wait, but he's through to the next round.
You say tough test. He's got a quarter-final against Arthur Langolier, the St. Lucia boxer, who got a bye. He'll fancy his chances
by
there.
unanimous decision in the blue corner, representing Tanzania, Yusuf Lukasi Changalawi.
Well, the Tanzania coach, Timothy Kengu, was saying, I think we've got a genuine chance at a couple of medals here, and this is one of those genuine contenders. He's on the threshold with an absolutely dominant demolition job over Curlin Richardson, who had a heart of a light heavyweight if he didn't have the physique of one.
Yeah, so Anguilla's Richardson coming out there on the losing end, and nothing to be ashamed of, though. Let's look at the other results from the Caribbean athletes around other events. In judo, we had the men's 60 kilograms, round of 16. Simon Zulu of Zambia beating Tyrone Charles of Trinidad and Tobago 10-0 in that contest. In squash, the plate quarterfinals in women's single, Guyana's Mary Fangafat coming away with a 3-0 victory over Kaliko Sanjudin Nimji of Kenya. Her countryman Ashley Khalil coming out with a 3-0 victory as well against Amity Alarkos from PNG. And Amna Fayaz of Pakistan beating Trinidad and Tobago's Charlotte Nags 3-0. In men's singles, the equivalent played quarterfinal, of course, Kudanji Kalengo of Zambia beating Jason Doyle from St. Vincent and the Grenadines 3-0. Julian Morrison coming out with a 3-1 victory against Caribbean counterpart Joe Chapman of the British Virgin Islands, and Sean Simpson from Barbados beating Marika Matanatabu 3-0. Here's a look at the medal table. Australia still large and in charge, extending their medal tally to 71 in total. 31 gold, 20 silver, 20 bronze. England 54, they sit second, and New Zealand 24, they sit third. 13 goals to go to their name. Trinidad and Tobago, they have 1 gold, 1 silver, 1 bronze, courtesy of Nicholas Paul, the cycling speedster, and 3 medals in total. They have the most from the Caribbean, and Bermuda, courtesy of Dame Flora Duffy, 1 gold to their name. These 2 Caribbean countries waving, representing the region proudly, and they're waving their flags high. So that's where we leave it for day 4 of the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham 2022. My name is Gerard Morrisili. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you on day 5.